Hello, how are y'all doing? Just another early morning, heading to work. Hope y'all are having a good morning, or a good evening, or wherever this video finds you. I've had like half a cup of coffee this morning. It's not enough. But the bike ride will wake me up, so we're good. Did not get much sleep, as is the normal. It's like, do I want gas on my hand, or do I want gas on my bike? I do not know. It's prepaid, and I don't want a receipt. Oh, good Lord. Couple of reasons for taking the bike whenever I can. One of them, the number one reason, probably above and beyond all else, and adjust my pockets here. I got a gate clicker and all kinds of stuff in my pockets. Sorry. When I get to the yard, I gotta open the gate, so I gotta have the gate clicker. Although, I'm wondering, do any of y'all have mounts on your bike for like a garage door opener sort of thing? I was thinking that would be cool. Like over here and just go, click. That would be perfect. I gotta go in, gotta work, gotta pay my bills. That's the normal. I'm just so tired. Last week was exhausting. There we go. Too many 20-hour days. You know, you log, okay, sleeper berth for 7 hours, but you weren't in the sleeper. You're doing all kinds of other stuff. Because you do want to eventually make it home. And you don't want to be out there longer than necessary. And you got to figure out a way to get off the property of where you're loading, unloading, whatever. The rest of it doesn't really matter. I got keys in one pocket and I got the clicker in the other. It's like, can they get in a comfortable position? I mean, please. Kind of cool this morning. It's like 78, 80 degrees, I think. Kind of good riding weather. See if my brights help any. They help me a little bit. I don't know if it makes a difference on camera. I hadn't put out a video in a while, and well, a couple of reasons for that. Between the hurricane, and I hadn't had internet at home for like half a month. You know, didn't have cable, didn't have internet for, oh, what was it, about 5 days after the storm. Didn't have electricity at all. And then after that, for like another week or so, it was sort of sporadic. We had it more than we didn't have it, but it would go out just randomly and you couldn't trust it. You know, it's like, do I stock the fridge or just throw all the food out of? What do I do? It's like, is it gonna come back on? They could do a horror movie specific for the Houston market right now. And all it's gonna be is like a family sitting down to eat dinner That's probably a horror movie to some people in itself. This new generation of kids, like, oh my God, they want me to talk about my day. Good Lord. Like, my mom or dad asked me how my day was. I didn't know how to answer. They took my phone, man. But anyways, the actual horror aspect of it would be the lights would flicker. They kind of brown out a little bit, go out for a second, and everybody'd have a heart attack. And about the time they got comfortable again, it would do it again and again. That'd be a horror movie right now. We're so dependent on things. Are you prepared? But anyways, are you prepared to go a week or 2 or 3 without electricity? I hate when you get that hair in your ear and you can't tell if it's a hair or a bug. Do I have a bug crawling in my ear? I do not know. It should be just a hair, but it is bothering me. It just says. Anyway. Then it's been raining and raining and raining. And like day before yesterday, we couldn't go north of our house because we were flooded in. If you remember, like a month before the hurricane, we were dealing with flooding, and a month before that, it's been like 3 or 4 months of just like flooding and flooding and flooding. Then we get hit by a hurricane and it doesn't really flood, but the wind does so much damage that it just messes everything up, you know? This area is kind of clean. I would show the neighborhood, but I don't show that on camera for reasons. A lot of the neighborhoods, we still got tree limbs and stuff that are all piled up. And they've been there so long, the leaves are all kind of dead and falling off. And it's like what to do with them. Even though it's Texas, not everybody has a pickup or the ability to haul them somewhere. I know you would think. I mean, we've got pickups, but I saw some signs for like storm debris, take it here. Okay, when? What hours are you open? You're going to be like, well, we're open from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. Well, fuck you. There ain't nobody going to be available 8 to 5, Monday to Friday to do shit. See, there's still debris here. I mean, we got like big piles of like fucking chopped up trees and shit. And it's just like, what do we do with it? Isn't heavy trash supposed to pick that up? And heavy trash comes through and it don't pick it up? It's just like, what the hell? Here's the other thing too, and I guess kind of where our perspective comes from. That was not good. My foot hit that rock, and the rock just like rolled, and it's like, holy shit, that did not feel good. That definitely did not feel good. Big rock. Well, like one of them big, like $50 size rocks. You youngsters won't know what I'm talking about. We had these coins that were called $50. We actually bought things with them. Like we would change out of our pocket and we'd hand it to somebody, and they would let us leave the store with merchandise. You know, credit cards were like run through a machine where it went thunk, thunk, back and forth and made a carbon copy. Your checks went through that thing where it looped it around, and the one store would take your checks and the other store wouldn't, so that's how you chose where you went grocery shopping. You had an ATM card, not a debit card, and the bank acted like that was a huge deal, and your wife kept you broke with ATM fees, pulling out 20 at a time. That's ringing a bell for some of you. We carried cash. How much cash you got on you? Because these people could not run credit cards and any of that stuff. And, you know, to get gas, they had to have power, and they had to have gas, and they had to have an internet connection. They had to have all three. Why? So they could run your card. So, do you have some cash? I can remember things being worse for longer, but it wasn't worse really, because you know, it's like Grandma had her hurricane lanterns, Grandma could cook with dry goods, and nobody starved, nobody went thirsty, and we need to kind of look more at how they handled things. Grandma and Grandpa were not stupid. They may have a problem running a computer, but they weren't stupid. Not by any means. In many ways, they were smarter than we are. We're all reliant. We're so reliant on technology. I mean, this thing mounted to my handlebars, this phone that I'm using to run my GoPro through, it's just like crack cocaine, you know? It's a drug. Actually, it's, I don't know if I want to call it that, or heroin, or speedball. I don't know what drug reference I want to use, you know? Did I forget to put my hair in the hightail thing? I think I did. By the way, the hightail ponytail holder works amazingly if you're thinking about getting one. It's awesome. You just have to remember to use it. Just saying. But anyways, Grandma wasn't stupid. They could survive where we can't. They weren't reliant on all this stuff. And like, really, as much as we talk about the kids and, you know, they got their heads shoved up their ass on a phone, we're just as bad. How many of you can go without your phone? I know you'll say, yeah, I can go without my phone. I don't need my phone. I'm not addicted to it. Really? What happens when it's broken and it don't work? I mean, you act like you hadn't been able to get cigarettes in like a day, and you're all pissed off and you're in withdrawal. Why is my nose itching? Is that the purpose of a nose? To itch? Anytime you close your visor, your nose is supposed to itch. You get a crispy in the corner of your eye, your nose will itch, and something will feel like it's crawling in your ear. And I know I got quite a few preppers that watch my channel just because other communities I'm involved in. And to them, you know, everybody's like, well, get a generator and get this and get that, and you know, like they're preparing for the downfall of man. And hey, that could happen. That clock's pretty close to zero. I'm just lucky enough to live in a city that if I'm home, I won't have to deal with any of that because I'll be dead. You know, NASA's not that far down the road. If there's a nuclear or anything, I'm gone. I'll be one of the lucky ones. I'll be incinerated at the beginning. But what is the most likely reason that you're going to use all those supplies? You know, and I don't care about what's coming up with the elections and all that stuff. That's for a different chat on a different channel, and you know, all that kind of stuff. But realistically, it's going to be a natural, you're going to be snowed in for a week due to a blizzard. You know, one of them history-making events where 20 years later they're showing, you know, that 5-foot tall pile of snow still on top of somebody's car, and front-end loaders digging the streets out. The snow's as tall as the front-end loader. You know, or a hurricane hits, or like California right now with all their fires. And, well, that's a whole different ball game because fire burns you up. You just lost all your supplies. So how much could you take with you? How prepared are you? Do you have stuff you can grab and go? Like, I've got a lot of my supplies I'll put in 5-gallon buckets with them little oxygen absorbers. Because number one, they stack good. 5-gallon bucket with a lid, they stack good. Number two, if you've got to grab them and go, you can grab them and go. You know, you're not going to grab all of them, but you can grab a few of them. I mean, are you picking up what I'm putting down there? That is neutral. Again, twice. Class, where have we found neutral today? On this episode of Finding Neutral. And I know the rest of the world moves on, and half of you have forgotten that we had a hurricane down here. We got people right now who are just now getting their power back on. You know, that was the 8th, and this is like the end of the month. You know, but like after Hurricane Ike, we didn't have power at my house for, I think it was about 5 weeks. You know, 5 weeks, that's like 4 weeks after the rest of the world has forgotten about you. And for those of you that watch Shade Tree's channel, y'all will remember like a year or so ago, you know, Shade Tree was promoting helping the hurricane victims and stuff in Florida. Like 2-3 months after, I think even further than that, you know, the storm was gone, and you know, the news cycle moves on and no one cares. And I can show you signs that are still down in Florida from a hurricane that hit 20 years ago. And they're still laying in the same place they were 20 years ago. Nobody's picked them up. And the same thing with Texas. You know, that recovery, so many people are in the recovery process right now. And I guess that's not talked about enough because people are like, okay, you got insurance, you got this, you move on, and life moves on, and I guess it does. But you're living in a hotel, or you're living at your parents' house, or at a friend's house, and your house is destroyed, and you're dealing with, you know, are you in the floodplain, are you out of the floodplain, which area are you in? Are you dealing with the government? Are you dealing with the government backing your insurance? Are you dealing with your insurance? You know, there's so many different avenues through there. I know that will be painfully familiar to some of y'all. You know, if your insurance didn't cover this, but the government has a thing for it, or vice versa, and going through that process, which can take months and even years, and you're just trying to fix your house. You know, Lake Charles, I just started calling that the city of blue tarps. There a couple years ago, they got hit with like 3 hurricanes in a row, and nobody could really fix it. It's not like Lake Charles has a lot of money. Great little town, by the way. I go there a lot. Just business, what have you. Wonderful people. But there's not a lot of money. I mean, there's, you know, chemical plant jobs and stuff like that. But those guys are living like me. You know, they're not pulling out, you know, 20 grand out of their pocket to go fix anything or any of that while they're waiting on the insurance. That's just not what's happening. They're waiting on the insurance before they can do anything. So it's like a couple of years all you saw when you went through there, because you're going through on the freeway and you're kind of that little elevated part, and you're just looking down at all these blue tarps over everybody's roof, and it's like long after people have forgot. Kind of like when your coworkers, like, you know, confused that your car's not fixed. You know, the media's like that rich coworker that doesn't understand, you know, why, or, you know, your boss that doesn't understand why your car's not fixed. And you're like, because you pay me $12 an hour, you fucking asshole. That's why it's not fixed. I can barely fucking eat. That does not look right. Construction zone can be freaky. I can tell how far away these cars are. I don't want to get run over. Somebody let the barn door open. Or not me. U-turn and watch for the gravel. This is where I nearly busted my ass a couple of weeks ago. I hit that gravel and it's like, holy shit. And that will wake you up, let me tell you. I still got a lot of gravel. Not as bad. But anyways, long after the storm's over, you're still recovering. You're still fixing things. I still gotta fix my fence. I still gotta get somebody to look at my roof. What you gonna do, you know? You know, the media, it'd be like, Houston? How do you spell that? Where is this at? You said they were hit by a hurricane. I mean, their memory is that short. They're too busy trying to convince you that the presidential candidates have powers they don't have. You know? Kamala's gonna take your guns away. Well, she doesn't have that power. Not as vice president, not as president. Trump's gonna take your right to health care away. He doesn't have that power if he gets elected anyways. Even if that's the one thing he wanted to do most of all in life. President of the United States is not the position in which he'd be able to make that happen. That's just not a power that he has. Meanwhile, that representative that you don't even know what his name is, that goes to your state capital and legislates on your behalf. Yeah, that guy who actually makes laws. Because what happened there is the Supreme Court gave that power, like, you know, abortion, that sort of thing. They gave that power back to the states, which it kind of is a states' right, the way things are currently written. And if you want to change that, because we were warned by people like Ruth Bader Ginsburg and all of them, who all said basically that Roe versus Wade was bullshit, and it was going to be easily, you know, brought down basically the way that it was. We were warned for decades that that was going to happen. You know, whether you're for or against it or whatever, that's just the facts. I'm not debating on pro or anti. You know, this is just, you know, these are people that were for it, that were telling you, hey, this isn't going to stand and this is why. And that's what happened. And same-sex marriage also is in the same boat, by the way. Because it wasn't done legislatively, it was done by the courts, and it can just as easily fall as it can stand by the whim of a change on the Supreme Court. But that's not permanent, because that can change again. It's like subject to the pendulum swing of the current times. You really want to change that stuff, though. You need to look at your other representatives, the ones who are actually writing the laws and making the budget. You know, I'm taxed too much. Well, talk to those guys. You know, this should be illegal, that shouldn't be illegal. Talk to those guys. You know, if you think abortion should be allowed past 6 weeks, you got a state representative you need to talk to. If you think it should not be allowed at all and it is murder, and you want that woman charged, you have a state level representative you need to be talking to. Because right now that is a state thing. People, you know, they look at the figurehead. He's going to do this, he's going to do that. There's a little bit of control in there the president has. I'll give you that. Like Trump with the ATF, because he was over at the executive branch. It's like, why can't he rein them in, and they're banning bump stocks and shit like that? You know, granted, it's a range toy that's useless for anything other than a range toy, but you should have the right to have it, kind of thing. And well, even though he's over them, he doesn't have the control over them that a lot of people think he would. You know, he can make appointments, and he can take the people out that are making decisions he don't like and put somebody else in. And the same with Biden, the same with Obama, the same with Kamala, who gets in. That's probably more where their power in these regards are. It's like judicial appointments and, you know, cabinet appointments, not actual laws. There are some things that they can do executive orders on, but pretty much every one of these hot button issues that they want to divide everyone with is nothing that they're going to be doing an executive order on. And they're basically, just about everything's out of their control to a large degree. You know, that's your president, not your congressman. He's not a senator. Or possibly she, you know. That may happen, I don't know. And that's going to be weird. You know, hey, I'm all for a woman president. I'd rather one that didn't have the body count, the history, that sort of thing. Even on the Democrat side, there are way better options, my God. Hell, there are black women that are way better options. You know, it's... Why this one? Yeah, life, you don't get to choose anything. Yeah, but they're going to put her up there. She's going to claim her black side and not her, what is that, Indian side, and be the first black woman president, and everybody's going to go about that. You know, kind of like Obama, you know, everybody forgot about his white side. Then you got some really racist people that's like, but it's the white side that I didn't like. Bullshit. Honestly, I don't think it had anything to do with race, while most people didn't like him that didn't like him. But there were people, don't get me wrong, that it was totally a race thing. And I'm related to a few of them. But they don't exactly claim to not be racist, you know. Anybody have those older relatives? They're in nursing homes right now. Like, okay. Eat your pudding, Grandma. Well, my grandparents are dead. My great aunts are dead. I've only got one parent left. What the hell is that? Something on the side of the road there. But yeah, disaster relief. Like, everyone got on Ted Cruz, and I'm not a fan of the Dildo King, Ted Cruz. If you wonder why I call him the Dildo King, it's because when he started in office, you know, on state level and all that, was when SOBs and all that stuff was a big thing, and his claim to fame was regulating how many sex toys you put on. Make it illegal for you to have too many sex toys in your possession. So he wanted to regulate dildos. So I call him the Dildo King, Ted Cruz. And whether you like him or not, you know, Harvey hit and all that, and what was it, Harvey? Something hit, and it wasn't anything that he had control over. You needed state level reps, that sort of thing. And he's like, well, I can campaign on, you know, when I get back and when we're in session on, you know, passing some bills that in the future may help you, kind of thing. But it was a state level thing. And people are like, why are you going on vacation? I mean, it might not have looked good, you know, to people, especially if they didn't understand that. Like, you should be helping your people. Like, he can do just as much good from the Bahamas as he can in Texas, and, you know, they're not in session, and he needs to be calling people, and he can do that on a beach. But no, we want you suffering with us. And that's not going to change anything. So, yeah, people don't understand how their government works. They need to bring back, like, civics and all that kind of crap. But anyways, I will let y'all go. Y'all have a wonderful morning, a wonderful evening, a wonderful wherever you are at. Ride safe. And I will catch you later. So, adios, vaya con Dios, hasta la vista, ciao, sayonara, nashla, whatever bye is in whatever language, goodbye in a polite way, that sort of stuff. Y'all take care. Bye.